Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dial Star Creations. Dial Star coming at you from Queens, New York. Queens, New York. Probably going to be the last upload of 2019. If you catch it before 2020, thank you very much. If you caught all of them, thank you even more. This is something new to me. This is fun. I'm having fun doing it. My kid has fun watching it. My friends, Jonathan, Enrique, Angel, Shay, everybody else that watches it. You guys have a blessed New Year. Don't drink too much. Don't get too saucy. Do so responsibly with your family. Anyway, back to this. What's going on here, as you can see, is before anything, this is not my original idea. I want to give 100,000 million% shout out props to this man right here. Go see him on his Instagram page at Longshore Spike. The man's props, his telephone booths, his newspaper kiosks, the little that you buy the you put the change in and you flip it open and you get. The man is a savage. Once again, this is the inspiration. This guy here, he does them. His props, his diorama ingredients, I'm gonna say, are on the money. If you spend money with that man, trust me, it's worth the investment. He doesn't sponsor me. He doesn't. We're not associated in any way. I follow him. He follows me. We give each other props on our posts. Spike, if you catch this, peace, brother. Anyway, back to this. As you can see, we got the master himself teaching other hand-to-hand combatants the art of using the Wing Chun dummy. Now, some people say Wing Chun, W-I-N-G. Some people say Win, W-I-N. Whichever way it is, you see this. If you ever saw a Bruce Lee movie, Ip Man, I-P-M-A-N, this is what they practice on. Danny Yo is currently portraying Ip Man. I think there's an Ip Man 4 out. I'm dying to catch that. I caught 1, 2, and 3. It's ridiculous. Ip Man is Bruce Lee's teacher. For those of you that don't know anything about martial arts, that you've been living under a rock. Ip Man was Bruce Lee, one of Bruce Lee's teacher, because Bruce Lee, before he met Ip, or Grandmaster Ip, before he met him, he was already well versed in different styles of martial arts. But Ip Man and Bruce Lee were the ones that brought Wing Chun, the form of Wing Chun, and the use of this dummy into the light. They didn't invent it, but they brought it to the light, the exposure of it. A lot of the stuff that's attributed to Bruce Lee, you can Google it, you can YouTube it, this man was a savage, and any and everybody that knew him said he was well ahead of his time in the stuff he was doing, how he was doing it, his philosophy, and everything. So, Longshore Spike, here we go. This guy, he's driving me crazy posting his Wing Chun dummies. There's a bunch of different styles. I like this one because this is the one I associate more with him and a few of the old school karate movies I've seen. So as you can see, basically there's a little setup of, Iron Fist, Elektra, Nightwing, Red Hood, Mezco, Daredevil, and even Batman himself seems very, very interested because, of course, this is the master. Now, the recipe for this, I don't know how Spike does it, but I'm going to show how I did it. This is not the only way to do it, but this is a way to do it, and it's it's pretty cheap if you want to go about doing it yourself. If not, trust me when I tell you it's pretty time consuming. It's time consuming if you don't have the patience for it. These are the ingredients for it. A dowel, a smaller dowel, piece of wood. This is a rasp, sharpener, ruler. This is going to be to wrap around the twine. Now, this particular dowel I cut it down to 6 inches without the base. So it should be 6 inches right there without the base. With the base, it's about 6 1/8. Now, all I did for the base was I got that again. I went to his page. He posted stuff, and I spoke to him and I gave him the props before I even mentioned his name, so he knows everything is all gravy. The base, I just printed out an octagon off my Word program. It happened to print out the specific perfect size I needed it right off the jump. I didn't have to resize it. The original one that they offered to resize was good enough for me, so I tricked that one out. Everything here is crazy glued in place. Everything. This was pretty particularly simple. You just cut it, and then when you do the angle, you just flip it the other way around. Crazy glue. Now these indents right here, these are basically the contact points. If you ever watched a martial arts flick, if you ever see, they have a stone, piece of wood that has the wear of so many years of punching in the same exact spot. So what I did was, that's the punch, the upper punch contact. That's obviously the middle punch contact after they're done grabbing and toggling the hand grips. These are all 3 hand grips, and this is what I'm gonna call the kick bar. This is the kick pot. You grab and then you kick straight up. Bruce, he always had that straight up kick. Other than his roundhouse kicks and his spinning heel kicks, he had that one kick where he would just cross kick and block your kick from coming across. So that, in my imagination, was what that is. And if you turn it sideways, years and years, this is not a brand new one. Once I burn it and weather it a little bit more and all that other stuff, it'll look particularly cool. One thing you really, really have to take into consideration when you're doing this is keep everything straight in line. These in particular have to go in not straight but at an angle. You have to go in at an angle, and I'm not entirely sure if there's a specific way you need to put them, but one has to go a little bit higher than the other. They have to cross angles like that so they can be grabbed alternately. The one in the middle, from all the pictures I've seen, goes perpendicular to the post, as well as, again, I'm not sure this is what these are called, but I'm calling it this for easy reference. I'm calling this the kick bar. This has to go pretty straight. As you can see from right here, maybe it's shifted to the camera left just a little bit, but how I did that is I marked everything out, and then with a Dremel, I dremeled in with a 3/16 drill bit, because the dowel is really not that thick. I got these at Dollar Tree. They sell the multi-packs. Now the reason the sharpener is here is it's very simple. There you go. You don't need it just for pencils. You sand that down a little bit, and those are the hand grips right there. The hand grips. They can't be square or blocky, because I'm figuring it's to strengthen the forearm without hurting the wrist and all that other stuff. This little section right there was just a piece of wood, square wood. I believe I cut this one 1/4 inch by maybe a 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter. It's to your preference. You want it to look, obviously, to scale with the action figure. Let me bring, there you go, Iron Fist. You want it to look pretty much to scale. They don't tower over human beings in real life, so you don't want the wood to tower over your action figure. It's supposed to be more or less chest and face height with the average practitioner. So this is to wrap around. Some of them have twine or rope in the midsections for more punching and more, I don't know, I guess it's aesthetic, but it does serve a purpose because it also trains the knuckles and toughens the knuckles. So maybe, I'm guessing that's what that's for. That has to be stained a little bit to look like rope. But this is, sorry about that, this is actually just, there you go, cotton twine. You have two ways of staining it. You could stain it with acrylic paint, or you could take a cloth with a little bit of wood stain, bring it through like that, dry off the excess, and you're good to go. Once again, that was not my original idea. I did not give the recipe of how exactly to do it. This is how I did it. If you want to see something awesome, some cool props, if you want to get some cool props, that's the man to see. On Instagram at Longshore Spike. Thank you for watching. This is Diostar Creations. Happy New Year 2020. Hope to catch some of you guys back. Hope to get some new subscribers, some new likes. Peace, people. Peace.